Hi, Mr. Wayne. Thanks so much for meeting with me today. Last month, we discussed your investments, experiences, and preferences, and you also completed an investor questionnaire. And based on how you answered those questions, along with our discussion, it helped me to determine the optimal asset allocation for your portfolio as a growth investor. So today we are going to go a bit deeper and discuss a bit more about rebalancing an investment portfolio and its importance. This will help you to decide towards the end if you want the TFSA to remain as is or to be rebalanced. So a strategic asset allocation, it's the amount that we invest in each asset class like bonds, mutual funds, or stocks. And for a growth investor like yourself, it's typical that an asset allocation would consist of 80% equity or stocks and 20% fixed income assets or bonds. Asset allocations can change over time, and key drivers that allow the asset allocation to change would include time horizon or age, having a portfolio drift, where it depends on fund performance and global economic factors, doing the rebalancing, which has two approaches, and we'll discuss it in the next slide. The two approaches are called time balancing and threshold rebalancing, and changes in your goal ultimately. So, if you get married, start a family, or you have an unfortunate accident and you need to go on a disability leave. So as mentioned in the previous slide, it is common that an asset allocation will deviate from an intended asset allocation mix, and this deviation is known as a portfolio drift. However, what we don't want to see is too much of a deviation, usually more than 10%. So it is important to review and rebalance the portfolio on an annual or semi-annual basis. And this basically allows us to return the portfolio back to its strategic target asset allocation. Doing this enhances the returns, lowers your risk over time, and keeps your portfolio aligned and balanced with your long-term goals. Taking a closer look at your TFSA, once I move over the TFSA, I would rebalance it back to your original target mix by selling some equity assets, specifically the US equity and foreign emerging markets, and buying a bit more bonds or fixed income assets, as well as Canadian equity. If you look at the screen here, you'll see the percentages that it's currently at, and also the amounts that we would need to increase or decrease by. And so again, just to recap, I would recommend that we move your TFSA over. We rebalance it based on your target asset allocation, which is 20% fixed income, 20% foreign developed equities, 25% Canadian equity, 25% US equity, and 10% foreign emerging equity. And this would allow us to maintain and manage risk based on your tolerance level while keeping your long-term goals in focus and enhance your portfolio returns. And I would suggest that we do this semi-annually for the next 2 years. And then after the 2-year period, we can do it on an annual basis. Thank you for your time, and please let me know if you have any questions. Great. Would you like to move forward with rebalancing your TFSA?